Welcome to the channel, Look at All That Juice. My name is John, aka Serious, aka Juice. Variety streamer on twitch.tv/LookAtAllThatJuice with a new schedule every Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's been a minute. Life has been crazy busy, and I want to start by apologizing for the lack of episodes. There's just so much I gotta catch you up on. I'll be releasing an update episode very soon where I'll fill you in on everything, Twitch life, and some incredible milestones that were achieved. So back in October, I officially became a Twitch partner, and during that time, we had an insanely successful charity stream raising money for ovarian cancer. But more on that soon. I'll release an episode filling you all in. It was an incredible time, but today, we've got an incredible guest. One I've been trying to get on the show for quite some time now. Our schedules have finally lined up, and I couldn't be more excited for this interview. My guest is a variety streamer over on Twitch, playing everything from Dead by Daylight and Helldivers to Among Us, Mass Effect, and lately, she's been taking a deep dive into Marvel Rivals, and she's pretty good at it, I have to say. But beyond gaming, she's a well-known figure in the cosplay world, attending comic conventions and events across the US and Canada. If you don't recognize her from Twitch, you've definitely seen her incredible cosplays on Instagram or at the conventions. She's brought life to iconic characters like Psylocke, Invisible Woman, Ciri from The Witcher, Rey from Star Wars, Rogue, and even Data from Star Trek. But most notably, she's known for her stunning portrayal of Vampirilla. We're going to get into all of that. Everyone, please welcome my next guest, Joanie Brosas.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me on. I'm just happy we found a time. If it's not like convention stuff, it's family stuff, and I've got a really big family too, so it's like trying to squeeze something in here, but it worked out. We got it. We did it.
I know. We've been trying to get this done. I don't know for how long. Was it since last year. I know it was before the holidays. Sure. It was so crazy.
Yeah, before the holidays, we're like, oh God, we should have known it wouldn't have worked. I mean, it was right in the middle of holiday season. I don't know what we were thinking.
I remember when we were trying to get this done, and I was just like, okay, so are you free this week? Are you free that week? And it seemed like almost every month you were out of town.
Oh yeah, every week we had a convention. This year I'm taking it easy. I try not to burn myself out, but I definitely burnt myself out last year. It was a lot. After COVID, I'm like taking whatever I can, but I forgot how like exhausting it is. And I was like, all right, let's simmer down. We're really excited. We've gotten back into the con circuit. It's cool, but simmer down, just, be a little bit more choosy about where we go. So
it's insane. Like whenever I speak with you, obviously you're always so busy, but before we get into the whole cosplay conversation, because I'm super, super interested in that, because I just find that world so fascinating. This podcast, as you know, it's mostly focused around people on Twitch or streaming in general, and we talk about their streaming journey and things of that nature. But before we get to the cosplay, how did you discover Twitch, and what made you, start your journey with streaming?
Twitch is what's funny is that if you ever go on Twitch and you watch people, you realize that most of them have like a normal life outside of it. And for me, Twitch is one of the many legs that hold up the table of cosplay. So when COVID happened, and I think this happened for a lot of people, they turned to streaming, whether it was because they didn't have that social aspect in their life. And it's a great place to find community, whether you're streaming or you're just watching streamers. It's really fun to find a community and actually be able to talk to people again, even though you can't be face to face with them. It kind of felt like you were still hanging out with people. And so for me, I didn't realize how depressed I got not being around people. And then, you think you hate people until you don't have any around you anymore. And you're like, okay, I miss people. So without conventions being a thing during COVID, it really, really, it stunted my growth. So I use conventions for it. They're not the best money makers. Some of them can be. You go to San Diego Comic-Con, you will make so much money, it's stupid, but you'll also have a mental breakdown. So there's the trade-off. But you'll go to conventions and you'll meet new people, and so you grow your markets that way. So that's part of like the business of cosplay. Is building markets and outreach. And some people use YouTube for that. Some people use podcasts for that. Some people use TikTok for that. For me, I went to Twitch because I'm a people person and I like to talk to people. I like to teach people things and I like interacting. Because for me, I'm aware that most people walk past me, they're like, oh, cool, a hot chick. There's not much substance to that. Like, cool, hot chick, costume, sweet. But I like to think that that's what grabs people's attention, but my personality keeps them there and my community keeps them there. So that's why I really like Twitch as an option.
You're absolutely right. It's obviously there's that, I don't know if the right word is stigma, or there is this caveat whenever people go on Twitch. There's always that idea that, oh, pretty girl, that's all they're good for, or like they see the sexual side of things.
Oh yeah, I don't care what they're playing. They got boobies. I'm gonna watch them. It's like, all right, I don't. So I'm hoping my face is enough.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when I see you on streams, obviously you're super friendly, you're engaging, and that's the number one thing with Twitch. And that's the one thing that I feel many people don't discuss enough about Twitch. Mm-hmm. When you think about streaming, a lot of people right away, they think of content. What am I going to play? What else am I going to make what kind of videos am I going to make? How will I look like? How will I portray myself? But the number one thing that people don't rarely mention is how to speak to your audience, how to connect with your audience. Yes. And
also not burning yourself out too. I used to have to take naps after my streams because it just took so much out of me.
Really? And I know we joked about this the other day when I rated your channel. You were going for like 6 hours or so, but you typically go for an average of like 3, 4, 5 hours?
3 hours and then accidentally 4 hours. But sometimes I'm super into gaming and sometimes I'm just feeling good and I'll just sit there and game the whole time. And it's circumstantial on like, how am I feeling that day and how much energy have I like depleted? And like, at the beginning, I would stream for like 3 hours and I realized like that I would give my all and I'd just be like hyped up. And it's, I even talked to some of my followers about this. Like, they asked like, well, do you think you're fake on your streams? And I'm like, no, I'm just amped up. Like, this is me still, but I'm amped up. Like it's like a performance in a way, but it's not fake. It's not scripted. It's not, oh, I'm going to just be super nice to everybody. I'm being excited and I'm being enthusiastic and I'm just putting my energy into it. And so, it's like game time versus rehearsal, it's like, it's game time. I gotta make sure people are engaged and having fun and entertained because this is what you're doing. You're entertaining people.
It's one aspect of streaming, again, that I guess some people have obviously different views of how to present themselves. I know in the end, when I look at my streaming as well, I look at it as, like you said, we're putting on a show. But one thing that I pride myself on, and when people mentioned this to me, I was completely humbled and I was grateful that people picked up on it, was that what you see on stream, what you see with me and my whole act, or I should say quote unquote act, or my whole presentation, I'm the same person. It's just dialed up a little bit more, a little bit louder, a little bit more jovial, but in the end, if you see me in person and people, like I mentioned, when I saw people in TwitchCon in Las Vegas, people saw me and when they came back to their stream, first thing they said was, yeah, Juice is exactly as you see on stream. And
that makes me so happy. I'm still mad I didn't get to see
I
that.
know.
That's
I
dumb.
remember when I was in Vegas, I forgot. Did you message me or I forgot what it was, or it was on maybe it was on Discord, because I remember you mentioned that you guys were at a bar, you had like a get together, but I couldn't go.
Yes, yeah, we had a little get together. Oh, you suck. Why do you hate me?
I couldn't go.
We could have had so much fun.
Are you going this year?
Hell no. I will never go back to that convention. No offense, and I hope you're not like
No,
Twitch,
not at all. Not at all.
That con was literally the worst convention I've ever been to.
But the next one's going to be in San Diego, or are you just talking about the con in general?
The con in general, like I wanted fucking Doritos. I go to the Dorito booth. Oh, you can't buy them. Why not? You can't. Here's a sample though. I'm like, give me some freaking Doritos. It was just dumb. I was so mad. I'm going to go on a little rant.
Do it. I want to hear it. What's going on?
I wanted to do stuff. I thought I would meet a lot of people. And it was like this big, empty, dark ass building where I couldn't even make content because it was too dark. And so there was this game I wanted to play, but like I played it for a little bit and then I was like, cool. Like, do you guys do collaborations with like influencers or streamers and stuff? And they're like, yeah. And I'm pretty sure it was some what are they called, apprentice of some sort or something. I don't know, like just some dude. Like, I have to be here, so I'm here. And he's like, yeah, I'll get you what you call it, those stream codes or whatever. And I was like, cool, here's my email. No one reached out, and I did that to like 3 people because I was like, I'd love to promote your game because it actually looks like a lot of fun and something my community might like. But yeah, nothing came out of that. I didn't see any of the streamers. I'm not okay. I love Twitch. I love supporting on Twitch, but I have a life outside of Twitch that doesn't really allow me to sit and just watch Twitch all day. So I usually, the times that I am on Twitch, I'm either gaming because it's on another screen, or I am home alone and I'm bored. Like, I just have other stuff going on that I can't just, sit and watch Twitch, which, when I feel lonely and it's quiet in my house, that's when I like to put Twitch on. But yeah, that convention, like, they were advertising a lot of stuff, but you couldn't buy anything there. So I went to that tiny Artist Alley, and I spent so much money in Artist Alley because I just wanted to support the artists. But I didn't know what to do there. I walked there and what was I supposed to do there? I don't know what the point was. And I spent like $200 getting in there, so I was real pissed.
Did you go for the whole weekend? Did you pay for tickets for Saturday and Sunday?
No, just one day, and it was like $180 for me, and then me and my husband to go. So I was like, why? I'm pissed.
You know what? You're not okay.
I've never been shoelaces. Did you get shoelaces and Dorito pin? I was pissed.
I got the affiliate keyboard keys.
I threw that shit away. I was so pissed. I got this it was whatever was in their pockets, they threw in those affiliate bags. It was, ugh.
There was like a Honda air freshener or something. I forgot what it was.
What the hell? What is Honda going to do for my gaming experience? Oh my goodness. I was like, is this what I'm supposed to expect from TwitchCon? Because I don't think I ever want to go again. And I was waiting in the hot sun, Las Vegas hot sun, trying to like check in. And I was like, what am I doing here? I didn't feel like I belonged there. I didn't know anybody. And it was so early in my like streaming career. I didn't know who to like look for or anything. So,
well, you know what? Same thing, same experience that you had. I've never been to a TwitchCon. This was my first one. And it was in Las Vegas. That's when it was 2023. And the first thing that I did before going to TwitchCon is I tried YouTubing and Googling TwitchCon. Like, what is it that we're going to do there? Like, I had the same thought as you. Like, what exactly am I going to be looking at?
Yeah, because I'm used to Comic Cons, which is very different.
Very different. There's so much to do. There's so much like, my God. There's like it's almost an overstimulation of.
See, I thought it would be like that. Like, instead of people selling their plushies, it would be people trying to get you to try their keyboards, their mouses, their mouse pads. I don't know, something.
I thought it was going to be something like that as well. Like more companies. I mean, in the end, we're the demographic that's consuming the video games, the peripherals, the gaming, all those things, right? Trust me, I was expecting the same thing. So when I went to TwitchCon, the actual con itself, I agree, was extremely underwhelming. Extremely underwhelming. Like, when I went in there, I was like, okay, big venue, a bunch of people walking around who I don't know, and I was thinking that I was gonna, quote unquote network with people and meet
Yeah.
people, things like that. But there was no real engagement other than the people who I already knew.
Exactly.
And then the con just became a big hangout with your friends.
But there was no place to freaking sit.
Exactly.
And you couldn't eat anything either unless it was outside in 107 degrees. And then you wanted the Gatorade they kept giving you coupons for, and you couldn't buy it. I was so mad. There's so many things that were like ticking me off. I'm like, why? Like, and I'm usually like super stoked to go, support things. And I came there to like support creators and, maybe pick up a new keyboard or something. I don't know. That's what I expected. But like, I got there. There's this huge, and I mean, I've never seen a convention so big, but so empty and dark.
Yeah, it was a
bizarre.
1 million. I think they bragged about it like a 1 million square foot, because it was at the Las Vegas Convention Center, so 1 million square foot space. Whatever
It was huge.
But yeah, you know what? I agree with you. It was extremely underwhelming. There wasn't much to do. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, there was an auditorium, like a stage set up, and you can see like XQC and Pokimane do like skits on stage. I was like, okay, like that's cool. But that was it, right? And then the whole convention, but I have to say though, the whole convention, the highlight and the only thing that made the whole trip worthwhile was seeing people in the community.
Yes.
It was my first time because I started streaming in October 2021, so towards the tail end of COVID. And like you, it was one of those things where I had no idea that there was this social this part of me that needed that social fulfillment, meeting people and talking to people. Like you said, until it's gone, you don't realize that it's something you need, right? And when I met all of these people through streaming, 2 years later, I was able to say, okay, yeah, let's meet up. And it was an incredible experience. So much so that the convention itself was an afterthought, and I had no time at all to meet everyone. And there was just so much to do with the friends in Vegas, right? But the convention itself, I agree, I tell people that if you're going to TwitchCon, go for one day.
Yes, go for. Well, I mean,
day.
honestly, just hang out outside or go to schedule meetups outside, because if people are going to be in town for that anyways, like that's what I did, and that was literally my best part of quote unquote TwitchCon, was going to the bar afterwards and meeting a couple of the streamers that I was like, dude, we're friends on stream, but I would love to just hang out with you. And I rented a portion of the bar it's my favorite bar in the world. It's so fun. It's like a tiki bar in Las Vegas. But yeah, I rented that portion. We were all just chit chatting. I was there with my husband Goblin and his best friend Ollie Odinson. If you've seen them on, I think Goblin's rated into you a couple times, but
yes,
but that's kind of like our crew here. But yeah, and then I got to meet so many streamers and stuff, and it was that was the most fun.
That's amazing, and I missed out on that shit.
Yeah, you did. And we even made an annual sticker. We made a sticker that says TwitchCon 2020, whatever it was, and it was a cute little tiki thing. It's okay. Next time I see you, I'll sneak you one.
All right, fine. But you know what? I am going. Okay, but here's the thing, though. I am going to the Rotterdam TwitchCon this year.
Where's that?
That's in Netherlands.
Whoa!
I am flying out to Europa. The juice is going international.
Wow.
And I'm going to go there, and I'm handing out my Look at All That Juice condoms.
Okay, can I ask you where Look at All That Juice came from?
Oh, you're interviewing me now? Okay,
yeah,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
My husband asked me, he's like, where does that come from? I'm like, I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to ask him.
Okay, all right. So I'll give you some lore. So the Look at All That Juice was taken from the Gears of War video game.
Oh, I love
that
game.
So this is what happened. One of my friends, his name is Harley Morenstein. He is the sauce boss of Epic Mealtime, the guy with the beard. I'm sure you've seen the YouTube channel from back in the day, the bacon guy. And during that time, I was incredibly inspired by his success on YouTube, and I wanted to do a gaming channel. So I brought 4 of my other friends together. We're like, we're brainstorming. What are we gonna record, what kind of content we're going to put on this YouTube channel. And at the time, we were playing Gears of War, and we didn't want to, or at least for me anyway, I didn't want to be cornered into one specific genre. I was inspired by Markiplier, PewDiePie. At the time, Sidemen were kicking off, and it wasn't only about video games. They did a bunch of IRL stuff as well.
You're smart.
So I wanted to do a whole bunch of different things, right? Mm-hmm. And again, we played lots of Gears of War, and one of the lines, one of the characters in Gears of War is Coltrane. And in one of the levels, exactly. So in one of the levels, they go into, for those that don't know, Gears of War, it's you're in this planet, you're fighting the horde or the aliens. I forgot their names. It's been so long. And in the biggest, I guess, resource is called emulsion, and it's a fuel, and it's a very valuable fuel. And the team they go into a cave, and they see a river of this emulsion, and Coltrane looks at it and he goes, "Look at all that juice." And then it was such an iconic line at the time, and I figured that was a great line to take, because we could sort of take that phrase and apply it to anything. Like, look at all that juice. Like, what's the juice? It's everything we do. And so that's where it came from. And then for whatever reason, time goes on. Obviously, YouTube channel is not as active. At least now I'm trying to make it get a little more active. But over time, it just, I felt I didn't want to let it go. I held on to it. And slowly but surely, I ended up on Twitch. And I kept the name. And it just so happens it stuck. And it's funny, the first thing you learn on Twitch is that people will start giving you your own nicknames despite what your username says.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I don't know. Like you said, in your bio, people call you Joe Bro or Joe. And for me, it just turned into Juice. And that's what it is. And it evolved. It evolved. And you know what's funny is because my streams obviously are mature rated. And it just so happened that organically, Look at All That Juice turned from a video game reference to actual juice
juice
to other things I will not mention.
Everyone's juice.
hence the condoms.
I love it. The juice. Look at all that juice. Contained.
Exactly. Contained
juice.
God damn it. So when it comes to your streaming, obviously this was due to COVID. It gave you an opportunity to meet people, meet your fans, I would assume, and meet people who want to interact with your community.
It gave me another dimension of my presence online.
Right. Is there anything that I guess stood out from your streaming career? Is there anything that you're most proud of from everything that you've done on Twitch?
I've learned a lot of patience. I'm sure everybody on Twitch experiences trauma dumping and, people who are just a little bit socially awkward, and we all are at times, but Twitch kind of, gathers those people, but allows them a space to feel comfortable enough to kind of voice that. Sometimes it's not appropriate, or, the timing is weird, or what they're saying is a little bit off-putting, but it's given me a platform to educate and actually learn about people and how to communicate with people to teach them better practices socially. And that's been just so much fun and so challenging as well. And we have we have our mods, and then we have, our community. And I've had people that have disagreements within my chat, and I'm like, all right, how do we solve this? This is what you're looking into, or this is what's happened. And, I have a lot of people in my community that are autistic. And so that's helped me a lot understand, that community and how they communicate. And they're all so different. So, learning that and them being so upfront with me, them and their challenges socially helps me kind of moderate and say, hey, give this person some patience. They struggle, with social cues. So if someone's poking fun at you, they mean it in a loving way. They're not trying to insult you, but sometimes they're not good with the tone or how they type it out. So it's just helped me a lot, learn about people and how to be a little bit more, what's the word? Blunt, but polite. But more clear in what I'm saying, I guess. Because like sometimes we sugarcoat things and try to make things a little bit more polite, but sometimes you just got to be straight up. This is this. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you so much for being clear with me, because I didn't even think about that, you know. So I've been working on being more clear with what I'm saying, but obviously putting it in a graceful way and a polite, light way that people can understand, but also, you know, be direct as well.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that, because one detail of streaming that not many people, I mean, I guess people do bring it up, but one thing that Twitch will teach you is, I guess you'll quickly develop thick skin.
Oh yeah.
Chat is like YouTube comments come to life, right?
Mm-hmm,
and so many things are said, and like you said, it's the comments are, a lot of it is direct, but a lot of it too is just, I guess, honesty from the chat in some cases. I don't know, for lack of a better word. And it teaches you to be patient. And like you said, there's a lot of people, which I quickly discovered, and I became more empathetic. What I quickly discovered is that a lot of people on Twitch start streaming because, you know, we're escaping from something, or we are using Twitch perhaps as a distraction. Either it's because we have our own demons that we're fighting, whether it's mental or physical, or maybe there's just something that gives us some sort of meaning to stream because it gives us that purpose. But everyone is, I would say, is escaping from something. Like in your case, it was a way to connect with your people because you missed that human interaction. For me, it was job loss, and I needed a way to remain creative, and I needed an outlet. Whereas with other people, it's because they have issues with their health, and streaming is a great distraction for them. So, and like I said, it helps with understanding where people have come from, and when you're faced with some people who maybe be trolling or whatever, I tend to wait and see. Maybe it's just them, like you said, maybe they're not just understanding social cues or whatever. And it's great to have that connection and to try to understand where people are coming from. And it's a beautiful thing when you make that connection and all of a sudden you realize that, hey, you know, you're not as bad as the comments are just saying. You're actually a good person, you know?
So yeah, I mean, I've had people come in and be a jerk, and I'm like, hey, you know, you don't have to be a jerk. You could be a part of this really cool community. Like, you know, you can make a choice, you know, if that's what you're having fun with. But I mean, I think you'd have more fun playing games with us and, you know, not being like that. But, you know, it's your choice, and then I can ban you. That's cool. Like, I have power here, sir. I don't know if you realize this, but this is my channel.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I mean, from my experience from going to your channel, I mean, you have great control over your audience. Your energy is infectious. It's fantastic. And I have to admit that when I first discovered you, I didn't know that I think it was you that followed. I forgot how we found out, or I remember you followed me, or rather you raided one day. Yes, it was this. You had raided while I was playing Starfield. I remember that you raided when I was playing Starfield, and Starfield was not, people know it's kind of a meme now. I fell asleep while playing the game. I fell asleep while playing Starfield. So in any case, I remember you raided in, and I was like, Joanie, I was like, where do I remember this name from? And I obviously went to your channel afterwards, and that's when I told my brother about you. And I was like, hey, do you know this person named Joanie? She's like a cosplayer. And she's like, you know Joanie? It's like, you know Joanie? It's like, yeah, how do you know Joanie? I was like, I don't know. She raided my channel. It's like, what do you mean? What's a raid? And I explained everything to him and all that. And you're a streamer and all these things. And I was like, you know who she is? And I was like, oh, no. And then I went to your Instagram, and that's where I was like, holy smokes, that's Joanie Brosas.
It's me.
Like, that's you. So when it comes to that, okay, so let's I guess rewind or fast forward in this case, cosplaying. It's so fascinating to me. I did not realize, at least until I started going to the conventions, that it was more than just people dressing up as their favorite characters, or you know, it was more than just dressing up, and you had turned it into a career.
Yeah.
And that is incredible. I love that so much, because you are pretty much living the dream. You're doing something that you absolutely love, and you're getting paid for it. It's like, that's, you know.
I'm lucky enough to live in a time where I could follow my dream of playing dress up for a living. Like, back when I was a kid, that didn't exist because the internet didn't exist. I hate aging myself, but here we are. I've been cosplaying, right? You're like, I don't know. I've been cosplaying, I think this year is 14 years.
Incredible.
So, yeah. So I started, goodness, I think I was 19. So, you know, do the math. I'm terrible at it, but I know how old I am. But I started then, and I was like, wait, I could be, because I've always wanted to be a model, but I'm 5'3" on a good day. So I was like, I want to be a model, but, you know, everyone's like 5'7" and up. So I was like, okay, well, that's a dream that's probably not going to happen for me. But cosplay was also a thing, and I love dressing up as characters. Like in high school, I never fit in anywhere, because I was like, well, I want to be a goth today, but also I want to be a prep the next day, and then I want to be a punk kid the next day. Why do I have to pick one? That's so dumb. I'm bored. So, you know, as lonely as it was growing up, it really kind of prepared me for, you know, being who I want to be today, which is, you know, lazy me is, you know, ponytail and sweatpants. But, you know, when I want to be somebody or embody something, you know, I get to wear whatever I want, and then, you know, pretend to be somebody else for a day, and hopefully take those traits that I learned in that character and keep them for my actual personal, whoever I am, you know?
What inspired you, first of all, to say, like, you know what, I want to be a cosplayer? Like, what made you decide that was a path you wanted to take?
So I was at a Star Trek convention, and this is in, I think, 2011. I was at a Star Trek convention. I painted myself green as an Orion slave. And I was walking around the convention, and there was this booth that was like, hey, do you want to model for our booth? Because it was like a motion capture booth for 3D animation. And so I was like, sure. Like, I was here to have fun, but, you know, if I get paid to do this, hell yeah, I'll do that. So I did that. One of the guys there was a photographer, so they helped me with my modeling portfolio. And then, you know, that kind of helped me realize that, like, I could do both. And so what kind of inspired me was, like, meshing those two things, realizing that, like, I think there is a market for this. And, that cosplay kind of came in waves. There was, like, you know, the people who paved the way for us. And then I was kind of in the second wave of, like, oh, that's a thing. Okay, I'm going to do that, because that's what I'm going to put all my time and energy into. But I didn't start doing it full time till, like, how many years in was that? Maybe, like, oh goodness, my timeline's all messed up. It's been so long. Maybe like 3 years in, I was like, I was working 3 jobs. I was doing a lot of things to supplement cosplay, because cosplay is so expensive. So, but yeah, I realized it was a thing that I wanted to do, and I was going to make it happen. And there's so many ups and downs. And then I'm sure, you know, like, through streaming, you, like, some days you want to give up because you're like, well, who's even here? Why am I here? Does anybody care? And then I go to conventions, and then I realize how much people actually do care, and how much this adds to people's life. And so, you know, I'm kind of just like in my own sense, art. And, you know, I bring these characters to life in ways that people may not have thought of, or, you know, they admire my take on it. So I'm creating art that people love, that influences their life in one way or another. And, you know, that was something I just wanted to do. I love people, I love educating, and I love being creative, and I love art. So that kind of mushed everything together to make my career. And that's where I am now. Sure.
So you mentioned that obviously it can get expensive. So do you make all your costumes, or do you collaborate with others? Like, how do you come up with your designs, or how do you make your costumes?
When I first started, I used to make all my costumes, and okay. There are some costumes sprinkled in that I make myself, but due to, like, time and budget, like, if I wanted to make something, I can sew, but I'm not the best seamstress ever. So I'm capable, yet one, it takes a lot of time. And two, if I screw it up, that's me spending more money. If I can just pay somebody else to do it and it's something they're passionate about and love, then I can highlight their work on my page. And then it's kind of more of a collaboration in a way. And so that way I'm part of the economy that is cosplay. So it's not just I wear the cosplays. It's not just I make and wear the cosplays. It's for me, my passion in cosplay is doing my makeup and changing my face. And I love wig styling. And I love modeling. So I like making really cool images that people can enjoy that are in costume. So bringing those cosplays to life. But sewing and armor making, I would like to try armor making, but that is so expensive and so time consuming for such little return. It's kind of like streaming, you know, people are there for the boobs sometimes, and that's that's just the way we are, you know. And so if I show my butt, I'm gonna make a lot more money than if I cover it up with armor. So that's kind of where I'm at. I have to make smart business decisions, otherwise I'd tank my business. So
hey, rent is due,
right?
Rent
Exactly. Show that ass.
I love that. That's amazing. So when it comes to the cosplays, then obviously you're going for the revealing type of I guess theme.
I do different takes on it. So, you know, you have the OnlyFans take and then you have the actual take. And so I do a little bit of everything in different variations for different types of markets and different types of people. Some people just like the cosplay and they like my take. And some people like me to take the cosplay off. And, you know, I am very comfortable in my skin and I like promoting body positivity in different sizes. And so that's something that also reminds me that I like me and I like the way I look naked. And so if I enjoy it, I think other people will as well. So I like to give options for everybody, because regardless if people bought it or not, I'd still be making it because it makes me feel good.
Of course. Hey, that's incredible. I love the fact that you have that confidence. You know what you're bringing to the table, and you know what you're worth. That's incredible. So with that being said, what has been the most challenging cosplay you've ever done?
Oh my God, Ahsoka sucked ass. It is cool. It looks awesome. But my God, that thing was so uncomfortable. Not only is it body paint, which took like 5 hours to do.
Sorry, which cosplay was this?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Okay.
Yes, Ahsoka. So she's got, for anyone who doesn't know, Star Wars character Ahsoka. She has Leiku, which look like tentacle things on your head. And I was on a wait list for that tentacle headpiece for like 3 years. So, and that was super expensive. I had to get painted bright orange, but also she has these like white markings that are on her skin. And so I had to do that. And then not only is it like a flat orange, but you have to put back in the details and the lines in your natural body. So like shading and highlighting. So it just took like, I don't know, it was like 3 to 5 hours for body paint, because we did it in portions. So we did like a 3-hour body paint and then we had to go shoot it. And we were in the desert in Las Vegas, which it looks really, really cool. But I'm an idiot and never tried on my costume before we got there. So my costume didn't fit very well because my fat ass gained 25 pounds through COVID. Yay! So I bought it when I was a lot smaller.
Oh, no.
So I had to finagle everything. My poor husband was trying to put this stupid costume on. Like, he was shoving that thing on. There's so many cosplays that I had to cut myself out of because I didn't try it beforehand because I'm dumb. So, you know, for cosplayers out there, try it on before you do a photo shoot. Learn from my mistakes.
Oh my God.
So it was just a thing.
Holy smokes. So I guess that answers my next question, because I was about to ask, have you ever had a cosplay disaster at a convention? How did you handle it? I'm assuming I
never brought that to a convention yet, though. I hate wearing body paint in conventions. So I try to never body paint myself because it is miserable to be in for hours. So I don't think think I've ever had any conundrums with my costumes at conventions because I usually shoot them first because, here's a little business tip for anybody who does cosplay out there. You sell more of the prints of the costume you are wearing. So if you don't have prints of the costume you're wearing, one, you're going to get annoyed with how many people are going to ask where that print is. And two, you're not selling something that people are interested in buying. So that's not good. When I do a shoot in it, that's basically, sometimes it's the first time I wear it. It is bad practice. Don't do that. Learn from that. Don't do that. But that's kind of like a practice run because I do a photo shoot, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. So you're in it, you're moving in it, you're doing different poses in it. So you're kind of testing out how durable is it, what's staying on, what's popping off. And then you can fix it so it is ready for a convention.
That's amazing. Is there a dream cosplay that you haven't done yet?
I want to be a Mars Attacks lady, and nobody cares, but I care a lot. And I freaking love that movie. And I want to move like her, and I want to glide across the floor with my big beehive hairstyle. I don't know if you know what she looks like, but she's a goddess.
It's like I forgot. I'm not sure if I know the year. It's like a 1960s type of vibe. Is it 60s?
She looks like that. Yeah, I don't
or is
remember
it 70s?
When that movie was
is it
made.
70s?
I don't know. It's a big
beehive. Yeah, it's a big beehive, and they have like a skin tight, like swirly, like
yes,
red swirly dress.
Yes,
type of thing.
It is beautiful. I actually have it. I have bought the dress. It was like a $600 dress, but I bought it. The wig is a whole other thing. So that wig, if I bought one style, it'd probably be around like $600 to $800. So I'm trying to do it myself. That she has a purse. There's so many details in cosplay that you don't realize. Like you look at a cosplay, they're like, oh, cool, it's the suit. The end. No. There's makeup that you have to get. There's contacts you have to get. There's a wig you have to get. There's accessories so that you can, look cool in it and, actually give context to the character. Because sometimes if you're without some kind of iconic piece, no one's going to know who you are. So she's pretty iconic, but I want everything. And it's a very expensive costume that it's not, I'm not going to get a return on it. I know no one will care. I know that, but I want it.
That's insane. I love that. I'm assuming, dare I ask, is that the most expensive cosplay you're ever trying to put together? Or have you?
No, Ahsoka was currently Ahsoka is the most expensive one because of the custom armor, paying the body painter, and the Leiku thingies.
Yeah, it's custom. Lot. May I ask how much did that set you back? What was the damage on that one? Or you want to keep it private?
I don't care. I want to say it was a little over. It was probably around $2,100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there was a big return on that. So anything Star Wars, I can count. It will be good. Yet it is still painful to put the down payment on it. So
sure. Oh, it's that's a good perspective about it. Like obviously you wear the cosplay and you want, like you said, you have that return. You want to be able to turn that into an asset, right? Mm-hmm. And like have people be able to, I guess, pay for your prints and whatnot. That's incredible.
Well, and I want something people will like and are interested in and build that, and people don't share the image if they don't care what it is too.
Now, I'm not sure if you're allowed to give away some of this information. Obviously, I'm not asking how much you get paid on these things or anything like that. But as someone who's looking to follow your path, how does it work with regards to, I guess, making a career out of it? Does the convention pay you and obviously you're there and then you sell your merchandise? Or is that how it normally works? Or they just give you a free ticket and then you just have to hustle and make sure you sell all your merchandise, like your prints and whatnot?
So life is really, really different after COVID, which is horribly unfortunate. Before COVID, I'll tell you the difference. Before COVID, they would cover flights and hotel and then give you a booth space. And then you have to, supply all the stuff to sell at your booth and, make it eye-catching enough to sell prints and stuff. And so that's your income. So they used to cover all that. Sometimes they'd give you a food per diem. Sometimes they'd give you green room access. So they have catered food there. So you're actually like set with that. Sometimes they'd give you a handler to make sure you were safe. But I think after COVID, conventions lost a lot of money, so they had to cut corners. And sadly, I think they put cosplayers on the chopping block first. So, and it's sad because I think cosplayers are somewhere in between, like voice actors. They may not have a huge pull, but the pull that they do have and the way they interact with new fans is something you can't really expect huge stars to do. So, I mean, at least I'm speaking for myself too. I've had experiences with cosplayers that sadly do not give a shit that you are standing right in front of them, and it breaks my heart because people admire the work that you do, and you've done so much for them. The least you can do is give them the time of day. And so I try to give my all to every single person. I know it's 8 hours long, but everybody who saw me in the first part of the day, the people at the end of the day deserve the same energy and excitement as those first people. So I make sure that everyone who looks at me, I just want them to be having a good time at the convention. I don't care if they buy something or not. It's cool if they do, but I want them to have fun because this is a place where I feel home at, and this is where my business thrives. And without people coming to these conventions, I would not have a career. So I want every single person in there to be having a freaking awesome time. So the beginning, before COVID, that's what we would get. Currently, it was hard. So literally last year was kind of the first year I've had a normal year, which is why I picked up so many conventions. But I had to hustle. I had to contact every single convention. My beautiful community has reached out to all of their conventions that are in their area to request me at their conventions, which helps a ton. I can't say if it does anything or not for certain conventions, but it shows interest, and it shows that people, care if I would be there, and they would buy tickets if I would be there. So I try to show my value in that, but it's hard. So I had to reach out, and I had to follow up, and I had to be somewhat aggressive of like, hey, I'm interested in being here, and I want to be there for these people that I know have contacted you. So I'm just following up. What can we do? What can we make work? So there's a fine line of, and people have been doing this for a while, where they'll just buy their own booth and, they pay for their flights, hotel, everything, which is horribly expensive. But in our economy, if celebrities did that, they wouldn't have an economy, they wouldn't get paid. And then only the people who bought themselves, like what value do you have? If a convention can get you for free, why would they pay the other ones? So I draw this fine line of keeping the economy going, where us cosplayers get the it's not necessarily pay, but get the compensation we deserve. Because of what we bring to the table, but also to help conventions stay alive too. So I'm open to, offsetting certain things to make sure, if it's a smaller con, sure, I'll buy my flights just so I can be out there, one, for my people, and two, to help your convention grow. Hopefully I do that for you. But for other conventions, if they're able to cover it, I appreciate that so much, and I will be there on time, and I will offer anything that I can to make your con thrive. I have a lot of pride in my business sense in what I do, but I also I'm so grateful for my job. I will never do anything to jeopardize it. So my reputation means so much to me.
I love that so much. With that being said, how many conventions do you go to approximately every year? And do you have a favorite one that stands out?
6, 7. I have 8 this year. And then I think last year I probably had like 10. But the problem is like it's all bunched into all the months that are roughly around May to October. So it's all mushed in, and you're going like every other weekend, and it sucks. But my favorite convention, and it's so sad because I can't seem to get anybody to respond to me to get back there. But I used to go on tour with Fan Expo, and they'd book you for like a couple different conventions. So you would basically travel with the same kind of group. And it was awesome. But Fan Expo Toronto, I love Canadians so much. Those are my people. I like to think of myself as an honorary Canadian because I adore those people. That is the first convention I had to pay it forward. Someone dropped $125 on my table, and I was like, "Oh, what can I get you though? What would you like?" And they're like, "I just want to pay it forward." And I was like, "Well, can I give you something for that?" And they're like, "No, I just want to pay it forward." I was like, "Okay." And so it went on for like 5 people, and the only reason it stopped was because the last person, I think they struggled with English, so they had no idea what was happening. So, you know, they took the prints and went, but like it was such a beautiful thing to see in that community that I've just never gotten anywhere else. So shout out to Canada. I love you guys. I'm sorry we suck right now.
Hey, listen, I'm in Canada, and I was hoping to see you at Fan Expo this year. So I'm going to try, and I guess I'll submit a request. I don't even know how that works, but
just send them an email and say, hey, she's awesome. I promise. I promise I'll do you good.
You know who twitch.tv/Joanie Brosas is?
No, I don't care. Who am I?
Honestly, that is incredible. And that's one thing. I mean, the fact that your fans support you so much, and that's why I supported. Like, I went to Joanie Brosas's Joe Bros website, Joe's website, and I got Vampirilla comics. Yay! And she had signed it for me, and I'm gonna cherish these. I still gotta pick up the other ones. I guess it was I forgot which ones I got.
I've got I think 19 covers. Good luck.
God damn it.
I know, I'm so sorry, but you're never going to get the first 3. You're never going to find the first 3. I can't find them for myself, and people will eat each other's faces off to get one, and I don't know where to get one. I'm so sorry.
Which one did I get? No, I have the first 3.
Do you have Vampirilla number 2?
I've got Vampirilla. It says Dynamite 01, 02, and 03.
Oh, is
Dark
that
Reflections?
for Dark Reflections? So that is a kind of like a spin-off, I guess, of Vampirella. So I have Vampirella, Vengeance of Vampirella, and Animator versus Vampirella. And then that one is, what is it? You just said it and my brain's broken.
Dark Reflections?
Dark Reflections, yes. Yeah. And then I have Red Sonja's, and I have Aphrodite Knives, and I have a She.
So what's the one that is the ones you can't find? So I don't have the ones that I have aren't the ones that you can't find. These are readily available on your website.
These ones are some of my newest ones. So those ones are the easiest to find currently. Gotcha. But I have, so Vampirella number 2, that one was done in, I was like 4 years into cosplay, I think. So it's probably 2014 maybe. Yeah, I think maybe 2014, 2015. I'm probably wrong. But my first cover was a Salt Lake City Comic-Con exclusive for Aphrodite 9, and that's a Top Cow comic, and I love Aphrodite 9. But yeah, that one's really hard to find because it was not only, I think there's only maybe 50 copies out there.
That's insane. And you can't even find one yourself.
I have like from my own stash, I think I have one that's signed to my husband, and that's the only one I have. And I signed it to his name because, yeah.
Obviously, you have to.
Yep, he got my last one. I was like, yeah, you're important to me, so here we go. So yeah, there's that one, but and I've done a couple other characters, but yeah, funny thing about Vampirella, so they didn't used to do cosplay covers. The first cosplay covers they used to do weren't necessarily cosplayers, but I think, and I could be wrong, but I think they were just models that were told to put on the costume, and so technically they were cosplay covers. They just weren't. I don't think they knew who the character was. They were just a model that the photographer took a photo of. But they only did those, I want to say, in the 80s, maybe late 70s. And I remember getting one of those, and I was like, I want to be that. I know they're probably never going to do that, but I want to be that girl. And 5 years later into my career, I got to be on the cover of a Vampirella, and I just sobbed. That was just my greatest achievement in life, was to be on the cover of Vampirella. And so I had a big signing party. I made t-shirts. I made little, I had my sister-in-law make vampire cupcakes, and we just had a huge like party at my local comic book shop. And it was a blast. And that's something I hold very, very near and dear to my heart, is Vampirella.
Yeah, it's definitely well, obviously you have your comic book. For me, obviously all your cosplays are incredible, but that I feel is iconic. Like it is. I would say I know when I looked at your Instagram, I know we spoke about your cosplay as Rey from Star Wars, and how it's uncanny your look with Rey from Star Wars and your cosplay. I was like, holy smokes, that you guys are twins, right?
That's my easiest one, and it's so cute because people will contact the convention and they'll be like, "Hey, how did you get her here?" And I've had to explain to some people that I'm not actually her, and it is just the sweetest thing, and it makes my heart so happy because I like if it fools adults, like I'm sure the kids are completely immersed in it, and it makes my heart happy.
Oh yeah, I mean when I first saw it, I was like, wait a minute. Is that you? Or I honestly took a double take because I wasn't sure myself. It was spot on. It was like a 1-to-1, and that's how I look at with your Vampirilla cosplay. And obviously, it's your profile picture, and
she's my favorite.
Amazing.
And it's one of my most iconic looks. I mean, I've been cosplaying that the longest. That was one of my first cosplays at my first real convention I went to. So I've been cosplaying her for 13 years. She's my favorite.
Obviously, when I'm looking at your costumes, I have to say one of my favorites. It's because growing up, this was my favorite comic book, and this was my favorite cartoon. It was X-Men, and then when I see you with the Rogue cosplay,
I love Rogue. I love her because I'll talk to people in a Southern accent all day and I would not even care. But I'll just sit there and talk to people. I'm like, hey, Shug, how are you? And it is so fun to like immerse people. I wish I could do it with Rey, but her accent is so different. I can only do really stupid English accents. I can't do her semi-posh normal one. I cannot. It's too normal for me. I have a problem with it.
Now, obviously, you have your photo shoots and everything, but with the Rogue, I'm surprised I never saw on your Instagram. It was the iconic pose from the X-Men cartoon. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Is it the butt?
Yes.
Oh, it's the butt. I need to do the butt. Why haven't I done? I haven't done the butt.
You gotta do the butt. For those that don't know, there was an X-Men cartoon came out in the 90s. And there was a scene in the opening credits where Rogue is on the ground looking at, I believe it's a Sentinel, and it's just so I don't know how.
That's why I haven't done it. I need my face in it. I can't make money without my face.
Oh, what do you? No, I'm telling you. If there's any exception to that rule, it's this.
This is true.
It's an iconic position, and it's so funny because. Obviously, when you look at the cartoon as a kid, you don't realize what you're looking at until you get older. It's like, hey,
that's why she's my favorite.
Rogue's kind of thick. Thick.
Oh yeah,
I'm surprised.
I'm all about that Rogue. I need to do that. I don't know why I haven't. That's so silly.
Yeah, you got to. You obviously still have that cosplay.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's one of my go-tos, and it's sad. What's funny is I don't think people are as crazy about that one. Which is really interesting.
So, really? Well, they re-released the show. Oh, yeah. Well, they released the show recently. Like it was X-Men 99 or whatever. I forgot what it was called.
97.
I know 97. Yeah, they came out with it again.
Yeah, and that's actually why I dove so heavily into Rogue. But yeah, it just I don't know what it is, but I mean it's eye-catching at the conventions. It does really well at conventions, but sales-wise it's not one of my top sellers, which is kind of crazy to me. She's one of my favorites, so I'll just keep making it. I don't care.
Besides your Vampirilla, which one is your most popular, do you think? Or
Tomb
is
Vampirilla? Tomb
Raider.
Rey's number one. Okay. Vampirilla is probably it might be tied with Rey. But Tomb Raider, because that was one of my first cosplays I did. And then maybe either Ahsoka. I think, yeah, probably Ahsoka, I guess. Yeah. There's a lot of ones that I want to catch on, but nobody cares as much as I do. It's the ones that I really enjoy wearing that nobody cares about. I'm like, you suck. I just want to be Harley Quinn all the time, but nobody cares. And it's so weird because everyone loves Harley Quinn. Not
No
mine.
one cares about Harley Quinn? I don't believe you.
Not that.
How?
It's not one of my best sellers. It's just
Really?
not, and I don't know why. I think she's cute, but no.
What about the Fallout? I mean, you pulled off the Fallout look really well.
Love Fallout. I actually got my husband's phone number playing Fallout. I did.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So I was pretending to be, helpless gamer girl.
Pretending.
Yeah. I have Google. I know how to look stuff up. And
shit.
but I was like, oh no, I can't tell which brother is a synth, and I think I have to kill one. Will you help me? What's your number? He told me which one to kill, and he was wrong, but I Googled it anyways before I killed one because I ain't stupid. So
wow, it was a trap all along.
It was, and it works. It works.
Oh my god,
we'll be together for 10 years this year, so it's
congratulations.
That's
insane. It works.
Yeah, that was New Vegas. No, not New Vegas. Sorry, Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So, besides the cosplays, when you had shipped me the comics, obviously I was very happy that I got it. But you threw in some magic cards with you and Goblin. How the heck did you get your own magic card? Like, if anything, I'm geeking out. Obviously, I'm geeking out over everything, but the magic cards, I'm geeking out over. How the heck did you get a magic card?
So Steve Argyle is actually local here. I have met him a couple times at conventions and like Free Comic Book Day signings and things like that. So he's local here to Utah, and he reached out to me one day, and it was in the middle of COVID, and he's like, "Hey, I really like you and your husband's chemistry together. I think you guys look really, really cool. And that's kind of the thing that I want to put into a magic card. So if I sent you some sketches on how to pose, would you want to be on one?" And I was like, "No, that seems lame." I'm just kidding. No, I freaked out. I was so excited. My husband he's out right now playing Magic because he plays weekly. He also has a YouTube that he's working on with his Magic stuff. Anyways,
feel free to plug it if you like. It is your platform.
If you know Magic, it's called Post Combat Clarity, and it's freaking hilarious. It's more about bros hanging out and then, poking fun at each other while playing games, but also, playing games together. So, so Steve Argyle, he's local. He's so freaking talented. If you ever can look up his work, he's crazy talented because not only is his work beautiful, he literally gave us basically a finished painting the next day. He's like, "Hey, does this look cool?" I was like, "Huh? How? Yeah." So it's gorgeous. I think the only changes he made was putting a white streak in my hair, so I looked more older and teacher-like. But because I am so much shorter than Cole. But the funny thing is and I'd have to find these photos, but we have pictures of us just in regular clothing, no makeup on or anything, just taking a picture while he's on a stool and me standing behind him, putting my arms up to the heavens. And it is the nerdiest, dumbest looking picture. And the fact that he made such a masterpiece out of it is incredible.
Oh, it's honestly, I'm so happy that I was able to get one. Do a lot of people have these cards? Do you think?
Yeah, so they're a common. So they were in the Strixhaven set. It's called Guiding Voice, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So it's just that's in the Strixhaven set. It's a basic card. There's nothing special. It's not very rare at all. So most people have it. But if not, I do have them on my site. We have, I think. So our local comic shop where I do most of my signings, they were so stoked. They bought 4,000 copies of it.
Holy moly. Okay.
They're worth nothing. So he just bought out the whole thing. And so we've got so many, but we're happy to sign them and stuff. And it's just something that my husband doesn't want to put up our wedding photos, but he does want to blow up that picture and make a little shadow box to put in our living room. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Sure. It is something. It is really cool though. It's actually my desktop background right now. It's a cool picture.
Oh, that's insane. I love that. So one thing I want to ask you, I know we joked around. Okay, well, I recall showing you my pictures from the time I went to Fan Expo. I don't know if you remember, I showed my Instagram, and I showed a picture of me next to Norman Reedus and Jessica Nigre.
Those were like the first people I met in my cosplay career. Norman Reedus was a wild story, let me tell you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I was about to ask you. That was going to lead me to my next question. It's a bit of a loaded question. So, what's your craziest celebrity story?
Oh, well, there it is.
And there it is. And what was it like touring with Jessica Nigre?
Okay, so wild story. No, and this is. So
I don't know if you are you able to tell this story? I don't want you to get into legal trouble or anything.
No, yeah, I mean,
okay.
So I at the time was I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was 19 at the time, and I got snuck into a club. Okay, so and I was walking in, with Norman Reedus. I had asked for his number earlier because that was my job. By the way, that was my job. Was to invite celebrities to dinner because we were starting a convention here in Salt Lake, which is a very long story. I'm not going to tell you, but we were starting a convention here. My boss was the creator of this convention here, and my job was to kind of just be friendly with people and try to get their numbers so that they could talk to my boss for an appearance at a convention, which is here that was starting. So Norman Reedus was one of those, and he was traveling with Sean Patrick Flannery, and they were really popular for Boondock Saints, and The Walking Dead had just come out. So, mind you, I fucking forgot that Norman Reedus was on Walking Dead, and I loved that show back then. I loved that show, and I didn't even connect the dots. So I've been hanging out with him all night, no clue. Anyways, I'm sitting next to him. I had a boyfriend at the time, so I was not interested in any relations with any of these people, which made it very easy for me to just chill and hang out. But he had been drinking all night, and he was really, really trying to make out with me, and I was really, really not interested, and it was really sweet. But I was like, you know what? I'm good. So I found out later his ex. I think she was Filipino and German, and I am Filipino, German, and Dutch. So I think we looked alike, maybe. So maybe that was the thing. But he had wanted to. He was like, "Oh, come on, I could travel with you. I could take you places." And it's like, no, I lived in Sacramento at the time, and I was like, I just want to be a boring Sacramento girl and go back home and live my boring life. And he's like, no, come on. I was like, no, but thank you. I appreciate it. Like, I'm cool. And I remember this girl walking in, and she was this beautiful blonde girl, walks into the bar that we're in, and she walks straight up to him, and they just start making out, like hardcore, tongue down each other's throats. And I was like, wow. This is the life. I'm just like 19 in this club, or this bar, just like, all right, cool. So I just hung out with Sean the rest of the night and just chilled. But yeah, that was a wild story. That was probably the wildest story that I had. But
Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
Daryl Dixon wanted to make out with Joanie and got denied.
He was a rock star at that point. And it's like, I think a lot of people kind of get into that rock star thing. That was when, oh God, who was Hercules? What's his name?
Hercules.
Hercules, the old Hercules show. Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At dinner, he asked my friend, actually, no, he didn't ask. He gave her his hotel room number. She was married, and she was not interested, but it was a wild night. I thought like this was the life, and I was like, I like being around here, but I am so glad I am tethered to a person, and sure. I have a boring life that I enjoy, because I think you could get so swept up in that world so easily that it's fun, but I am so boring. I don't want that kind of life.
So that's your wild story. But so in that case, how was working with Jessica Nigre?
So Jess is amazing. She has the most energy I've ever seen in a cosplayer in my entire life. Holy cow, I wish I could keep up with her energy. She's so talented. She has, you watch her builds, and her brain moves a mile a minute. I can't keep up with her, but we traveled a lot together. We didn't, I don't know. I can't say like we didn't bond really. Like we weren't just like best friends or anything, but we were in the same circle. So we like would chit chat with each other. We'd all go to dinner and we'd all, talk across the tables to each other. But what's funny is I think so the person that she traveled with, her handler, he was super chill, and I'm just not like they would go to the clubs, they'd go dancing, they'd party all night, and my nickname was Grandma because I would go to bed early because I had work in the morning. I wasn't going to stay up late, so like they would call me Grandma, and so I'd actually just hang out with her handler. We'd just sit and chat all night. The girls would dance and have fun and stuff, and I am an old soul. I've never really partied. I only do it through circumstance, and maybe once a year I'll go dancing, but I'm slow moving. I am boring. I like my boring life.
I'm surprised that with all the success you've had with cosplaying and all these different characters you can morph yourself into, I'm actually quite surprised that you haven't gone into TV or movies or something of that nature, because it seems like a natural progression to that.
I like to be seen and not heard. I think it's a past trauma. Honestly, it's so stupid. Because a lot of people ask why I don't get into acting. But when I was a kid, this is so stupid. I was in 3rd grade, and I had tried out for a Midsummer Night's Dream play in school, and I tried my hardest in acting, and I was denied, and I've never felt such failure in my entire life. And so I don't think I ever wanted to act again after that, because I was so like ashamed. And I literally only tried once, and I probably didn't do a good job because I was like, I don't know how old you are, like 7. It was terrible. And I was made into a dancer and a singer, and I'm actually more comfortable dancing and singing. But I love voice acting as well. I've gotten to do a couple indie cartoons, which has been really, really fun.
Cartoons, so you were the some voice acting. Right?
Yes, voice acting. Very voice acting I'm comfortable with because, again, I'm like heard and not seen. I think I can only do one at a time.
Well, I hope that maybe you reconsider and maybe you revisit that avenue, because I remember like Terry Crews.
I love him.
Terry Crews, I remember in an interview, he was saying things like, you're going to get a million no's, or people are going to say no, until you get that one yes. And then that one yes propelled him to where like it allowed him to go through and become an actor and all these wonderful things. So
I think you have to want that yes. I think I'm just like, I'm so scared of acting. I think I want to be like circumstantially dumped into it, in which I was like screaming girl number 1 in it's a horror movie that was actually filmed here. Me and my husband were extras in, and he volunteered me to scream because we're like, hey, can any girls like scream here or something? And Cole's like, this one right here, this one. And I was like, oh God, fine. And I gave it my all, and I think I did pretty well. I mean, it stayed in the film, so it wasn't cut, but it's what is it called? It's called The Appearance, and I am the hideous dirt-faced girl that screams when a body lands in front of her. So, and it legitimately is I don't know if it's like method acting, but I'm terrified of things jumping at me, and so that body would fall in front of me and it would scare the shit out of me, and I would just scream and just oomph the scream more, so it worked. So I was like, all right, there it is. There's my acting debut.
I hope that it's something that continues, because you never know, right?
Yeah, I could love it. I could love it.
Yeah, I hope so. It seems like a natural progression. So before I let you go, is there anything that you would like to know about, let your fans know about you? Any secret talents outside of cosplay that maybe your fans don't know, or maybe you've never really shared?
I can fit my whole fist in my mouth. Is that what you meant? I think.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. No. Okay, so here's the thing. I need you to make a print, a 1 of 1, and I will meet you at any convention that you're at. I'll fly down there. I'm gonna look at you. I'm like, it's time. And then you're gonna pull out this print, sign it. I'm gonna hold it up with the fist in your mouth, 1 of 1.
One of one signed. It's going to
One
be
of
pixelated.
one.
It's going to be taken in the selfie mode. Oh, God. No. I'm terrible at last thoughts, final thoughts. Oh, God.
Wow. Well, okay. We'll leave you
I
with
do have one bit of advice for everybody.
Yes, please.
That I usually give to everybody whenever I have a platform to do so, is to love yourself and exactly the way you are. Because if you know that you like you, no one else can try to change your mind on that. So that's what gets me through the day of, oh, I'm too skinny. Oh, I'm not thick like this girl. I don't have boobs. I don't have butt. But I like me the way I am. So why do I care if other people don't? I like me. I have to live with my body. So if that's a them problem. They ought to look at me. I don't care. That's not my problem.
No, 100%. And it sort of circles back to streaming as well, where there's a lot of, or rather we all fall into that hole of comparing ourselves to others. And people obviously look at streaming, and the first thing a lot of people think about these days is, how can I be successful at this? How can I make money? Or how can I stand out from everybody else? And it starts with, as cheesy as corny as it says, it starts with having to love yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, because the difference between Look at All That Juice playing Fallout and Joanie Brosas playing Fallout is our personalities. It's who we are. That's what separates us, and that's what is going to propel you in whatever career you end up going into. So I definitely applaud you for that, and I appreciate you being here. One last thought: being half Filipina,
Yay!
I am Filipino myself.
Hey!
Favorite. Ay nako, si Joanie.
Hindi.
Hindi. Favorite Filipino dish. I'll let you know. Mine is definitely chicken tinola, then chicken or pork adobo.
Ooh,
that's my go-to. What's yours?
I love embutido, but also
yeah.
I love, my husband hates it whenever I order it. He gets so mad. But sinigang is my favorite. It smells awful. It is made of the poorest food, and it is so yummy. It's my sour soup. I love it. I love it.
I don't mind the smell either, but yeah, it's a sour soup. It's delicious. I like it too. There you go.
Yeah, it's so good. It reminds me of like home. Like that's my comfort food.
That's amazing. Joanie, it was an absolute freaking pleasure. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this.
Me too.
We have to do this again.
Yes,
hopefully.
please.
Part two. We'll give us an update on the goings on and the Twitch and all these things. Everybody, go check out Joanie Brosas. Joanie, the floor is yours. Let people know what you're up to, what's coming up, how people can find you, everything. This is your time. Tell everyone how people can find you and what you're doing next.
So I'm at conventions. I mean, request me at conventions. I'd love to meet you guys. And joaniebrosas.com. I literally have all my links there. I have my convention schedule, so maybe I'm already coming to a convention near you. I'd love to see you. Tell me about the podcast. That has everything. I tried to make it as easy as possible. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, a little bit of everything. I'm on Patreon, the fans of only. I call it that because I'm usually Twitch streaming, but I guess you can call it OnlyFans now. So I'm not going to be blocked for that. But I have a little bit of everything for everybody. And I try to keep it, open to what people want, you can get.
And obviously, as Joanie mentioned, she's on twitch.tv/Joanie Brosas. That's JoaniBrosas. I know you're crazy busy. Your schedule is hectic. Do you have a schedule on Twitch? Can you let people know what normally which days you're on, or how people can catch you on Twitch?
You missed an E.
Did I? No. JoanieBrosas. I swear I said it. I'm gonna edit that
out. I was like, hold on, I gotta make sure I can spell my own name too.
Jody, there you go. So do you have a schedule on
I'm usually on Monday mornings and Wednesday nights and Friday nights. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But if I change anything, I get on Discord and I try to do some makeup streams because on Fridays I'm usually traveling for conventions and stuff. So, it varies depending on the week, but most of the time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Excellent. And my name is John, aka Sirius, aka Juice, a variety streamer. We're on twitch.tv/LookAtAllThatJuice every Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Joanie, it was a pleasure. Thank you for joining me on the Look at All That Juice podcast. Everyone, stay safe and stay juicy.